So before we look into the optimization technique, first of all, we have to invoke Claude Code. So I'm in my Visual Studio Code. I'm just going to type Claude and I'm just going to authenticate it using my browser. And after signing in, you can see the Claude Code has been up and running. If you have a desktop app, then you can also just go to this Claude Code tab. And here also actually you can type the commands which I'm going to share over here. But you must be aware of some of the commands are specifically going to run into the Claude Code CLI and not on the desktop app. So first of all, you can just go ahead and type this context command, and this context command is going to show you the current picture of the context usage. So in this case, you can see out of 200k tokens, I have already used 11% of this 200k tokens. And you can also see like it has been estimated by different categories, how much usage has been consumed by system prompt, tools, skills, messages, and your MCP tools. Before actually we try to optimize anything, we need to aware of, okay, how much context usage is already there. This should give you the current picture. We can go to the context and we can see like how much space has been left in the context window. Now, the first step of token optimization is using the Claude.md file. You can pass your project specific instructions in this Claude.md, and every time when the Claude is going to connect to a specific project, then it doesn't have to scan the project just to get understanding around it. It can just read the Claude.md and it can save you a lot of tokens. And you don't need to create this Claude.md on your own. What you can do is, if you have like any kind of project open as such, like what I have over here, I can just go ahead and pass this command init, and this is automatically going to initialize the Claude.md based on the information what it sees in this project. So I can just go ahead and run this init command and it is going to create a Claude.md file for me. And now this Claude.md file is something which Claude can refer at any point of time and get the understanding about the project without scanning n number files located in the project. And you can see it has just put up all these things, how to run the app, what is going to be the architecture and everything, the key domain rules. And you can also edit this file at any point of time. So for now, I'm just going to go ahead and say yes. And you can see the Claude.md file has been created over here. Now, if I want to add anything as such, I can just go over here and add or edit this Claude.md file. But this file is going to give the gist about the project. Now, the second tip is we should avoid Claude to explore our repository blindly, because in our project, we can have a number of files over here. And if you just pass an instructions to Claude, something like just fix the auth bug, then it has to just scan all these files and definitely it's going to consume a lot of tokens. So rather than just letting Claude explore the repo blindly, we can just pass the exact file where we want the fix to be applied, and in that case you just have to focus on that particular file and it can do the task in a lesser number of tokens. So tip 3 is related to plan before execution. So you may have faced a lot of scenarios where we are asking Claude to do something, and when the output comes, you got to know, okay, this is not something you would have expected. And then you pass another set of instructions to Claude for the modifications. When you are doing like all these things again and again, then it's going to consume the tokens, and you can avoid the token consumption if you just execute the things in the plan mode first. When you execute anything in the plan mode, then first of all, Claude is going to give you the detailed plan, what exactly it is trying to do. And once you approve that, then only it will go ahead and execute that plan. So it will give you an idea what exactly is going to happen once the Claude is going to run. And if any modification is required, then you can do it beforehand rather than relying on certain assumptions, which can touch like a number of files. But once you execute anything in the plan mode, then it will have the fewer loops, because you would be aware of what exactly is going to happen and you would have approved that plan before the execution. So there are chances of fewer loops once you execute something in the plan mode first. And because it is going to take fewer loops, so your token consumption is also going to be lesser. Now, to execute something in the plan mode, first of all, actually you have to type your instructions. So in this case, I can just type, I'm on Windows, so I'm just going to press on Shift and Tab. And as soon as I press Shift and Tab, it is just going to give me the options. So first of all, it is going to just ask me accept edits on, and I'm going to just press it once more, shift and tab, and it will enable this plan mode. Now you can see the plan mode is on, and I can just go ahead and submit it. Now it's not going to make the changes in the first shot. It is going to explore the code base, and it is going to give me a plan before it goes ahead and implement anything as such. Now, if you want to do the same in the desktop app, I do have the init command available. But if I just try to type plan or something, then it is not available as such. So rather than invoking it specifically, you can type it in your word. So here I can just say like I want 100% test coverage in this repo, but please do show me the plan before any kind of implementation. So in the desktop app, actually, you have to pass the plan mode in the instruction format rather than invoking it through certain buttons. So from the user perspective, the output would be same. So let me just go back to our CLI, and here you can see the plan is ready now. So here you can see like it has evaluated all these files, and it is just clearly defining, okay, what exactly it's going to do. So it's going to have the minimal config file, the test coverage, what exactly it's going to do at step 2. And these are the files it is planning to create it. So I have the full picture of what exactly is going to happen. And here you can see like if you're not pretty much sure with the plan, then you can also go to this option 4 and you can just tell Claude what exactly you need to change. So it will again improve this plan before the implementation. And once you are satisfied with the plan, then only you can go ahead and just ask Codex to execute it. So as of now, you can see like none of the files have been created. But now if I just go ahead and approve it, then only the execution is going to happen. So that's our tip number 3. Now our tip number 4 is related to clear and compact command. So let's say you have asked Claude to implement certain features and you had like n number of interactions happened with the Claude. Now because you had a lot of interaction with the Claude while working on the features, so it would have consumed a lot of tokens as part of the process. But now let's say once the feature is completed, you want to move to something new altogether, maybe another feature which is totally independent and has no correlation with the first feature you have implemented. So in this case, the ideal approach is just to execute the clear command first so that all your conversations is not going to drag into this particular feature. And in this particular feature, you are going to start the conversation from the scratch. So in this case, it will just offload all those previous tokens and it doesn't have to drag those tokens to the conversations which are going to happen with the Claude for a new feature. Now, there could be another scenario where you are working on a certain feature where you need to have the context around your previous conversations. This new feature is not completely independent. In this case also, rather than taking like all this previous conversation thread, you can execute the compact command so that you do have the summary of all this previous conversation rather than having the each and every detail about the raw conversations you had with the Claude. And then you can use this summarized form of the conversations into your new feature. So in both cases, you are going to save significant number of tokens. And as of now, 40% of my context token has been consumed. And let's say like I have to work on something new. I'm just going to go ahead and run this clear command. And after running the clear command, if I again go to context, then you can see like whatever conversation we had so far, everything has been gone. And now my context token is again back to 11%. Now, instead of clear, if I have to take that conversations going onwards, then I could have just run this compact command and it's going to free up the context and it will just summarize the conversations, whatever I had so far. So if I want to have like any kind of correlation between my previous conversations and the new conversation I'm going to have, I would just rely on this compact command. So in that case, my token usage would be lesser and I still have the information about my previous conversations to work on any kind of new task. Now, tip number 5 is related to right model and effort for the right task rather than just relying on only one model for each kind of task. I can just go ahead and switch the models using this model command. If I just run this, you can see the default is going to be Sonnet 4.6, which is actually handling all my tasks. If I have a use case where I need to work on certain kind of architecture, some kind of complex reasoning task, some kind of complex coding as well, then I can switch to Opus. Now, the thing is, just picking the model won't serve the purpose. Along with the model, we have to rely on effort as well. In this case, you can see as of now, the effort has been estimated at high. So if I want to keep the number of tokens minimal, I would just shift to the left hand side of this particular bar. So my response would be faster and the number of tokens would be lesser. But in the same model, if I want more better output, then I need to go to the right side of the bar. But in this case, my token consumptions are going to be higher. So this is also like one of the things which we have to keep it in mind. In most of the cases, we can go ahead with the default, which is going to be high. And this is going to be a balance parameter between faster and a smarter. If I want to control the number of tokens at the model level, then I can control it using the effort. In next video, we are going to cover next set of 5 tips which should help you to cut down the number of tokens while working on Claude. So that's all what we have in this video. Thank you for watching.